Hello and welcome to another Blue Monday podcast. This is a 3 times weekly show looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club, available on video and podcast. My name is Benjamin Bloom. I'll be here each and every Monday for this flagship show with ITFC aficionado David Diamond for a sometimes irreverent but always informative hour of football conversation. Make your Monday a Blue Monday. Oh, what a week, Dave.
Seismic, I think you called it. First things first, did you get to Cadbury World yesterday?
I did get to Cadbury's World. There was lots
Second thing,
of children there.
Did you and the lovely Shaylee eat your body weight in chocolate?
No. I tried to... When you go into Cadbury World, they give you 2 chocolate bars straight away at the beginning. And I'm like, look, I've paid...
Cadbury's could be anything.
2 crunchies and 2 dairy milk.
I love a crunchy.
But... I mean, I know far be it for me to criticise a business monolith like Cadbury, but
yeah, you're going to.
I'm going in your bloody gift shop later on. Don't give it away.
Yeah, good point.
And you're just going to hype all the kids up as well, filling them full of sugar. But yeah,
potentially was yesterday, or I guess Good Friday, the busiest day of the year for Cadbury World.
Possibly.
Potentially.
Oh,
how long did you spend there? So you did this on the way up there?
Well, it's like 6 miles from the Birmingham City Stadium, so yeah, cool. It was good, but we've had a very busy week. Now we should inform you that Dave and I performed a hastily convened podcast on Thursday, on the day it was announced that our glorious leader Mick McCarthy will be leaving at the end of the season. So I would advise you, I don't normally advise people to stop listening to our podcasts, but if you're expecting lots and lots of Mick chat, pause now, go one back in your feed and listen to that show, because we did 50 minutes on that. There's going to be a bit of Mick chat, Dave, after we go over the Birmingham game, but has it sunk in?
I think it has just about now, but it's still a bit weird. And I know from I didn't go yesterday, obviously you didn't, and from reading the various tweets and forums yesterday, it's all a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah, we could have had afternoon tea at Cadbury World, but that started at 2:00. So I could have been eating my body weight in chocolate, but I chose to watch Ipswich play at Birmingham. Bit of news first, Dave. There's some sad news, 2 bits of sad news that we're going to talk about at the end.
Yeah.
So we will hold that. There isn't a lot of good news in this podcast, full stop. But the Bobby Robson movie, More Than a Manager, will be screened at Portman Road on Friday, 25th of May. I think we're going to go, aren't we, Dave?
Yeah, great.
Are you looking forward to that movie?
I am. I've got a couple of things on in May, because I've also got my son's bought me tickets for that Our Blue Heaven, I think is what it's called. The thing at the Wolsey, which you would know all about, having obviously played to a full Wolsey house back in the day, Ben. So looking forward looking forward to that very much. Looking forward to that. Yeah, and the Robson thing will be great. I've been watching on channel ITV4 in the last week. They've had a couple of things on one, the foreign invasion of 1978. So our D. Lesby, Mirren and Tyson. I had a whole sort of half episode on Mirren and Tyson, which was brilliant. And then I've done that, the British teams in Europe in the early 80s or late 70s, early 80s. Been really quite good actually. That. So on a similar vein, looking forward to the Robson movie.
I saw some tweets about that. I'm not paying for a TV license. Can I get that on an ITV app, maybe on demand?
I'm sure you can.
I tell you what I did watch, which I would advise anybody
I dumped you in it there. Go on.
My age or above to watch. There's a documentary on Football Italia, which started 26 years ago.
I meant to tape that. It was on last night, wasn't it?
Oh, it's on demand. I watched
it. James. Was it on Channel 4? Was it on? No. What was it?
It was on BT.
BT. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Used to love that. James Richardson was quality.
And still is on the excellent Totally Football podcast, which I'm sure most people who listen to this probably also listen to as well. We're going to go via Cadbury World. We're going to leave Cadbury World. We're going to go round the streets of Birmingham, past Edgbaston, and go see lots and lots of tower blocks, and make our way to St Andrews in the rain, Dave. And an unchanged team. It was weird. I think Stuart or Andy from whoever was doing the ADT tweeted unchanged team, and I'm like, God, what was the last match? It seems like 3 months ago, but unchanged team from Bristol City, Dave. 3-5-2 after I don't know how many games it was, a back 4-4. But 3-5-2, Bart, Spencer, Knudsen, the wing backs, Carter, Vickers, Chambers, Webster, centre backs. Skew's sitting there with Connolly, Ward, a little bit further ahead, Waghorn and Sears up front. Old school 4-4-2 for Birmingham, Dave. Stockdale, Harding, Morrison, Dean, Colin, Jota down the right, Keefton Bell and Davis down the middle, Magoma down the left, Jutkovic and Adams up front. Birmingham 20. My notes say Birmingham 22nd with lots to play for. Ipswich 13th with not much to play for. Your thoughts going into the game, Dave?
Pretty much summed it up. I mean, I just didn't know what to expect. After the news on Thursday broke about Mick and Terry Connor leaving, and obviously of staying till the end of the season, didn't really know what to expect. Did I expect that team? Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a few minutes. Go on.
One nice thing, Mustafa Karayel was back on the bench.
Yes.
He got hurt at Sheffield about 3 weeks ago.
And away. Didn't he? He was roasting somewhere. He was playing an away game
at Sheffield.
Yeah. Sorry, Sheffield Wednesday it was.
Yeah. Horrible start by Ipswich, actually, Dave. They leave Morrison completely unmarked. He heads it across. Someone touches it on. I think it was Dean, and Knudsen's back in there. Right foot hoof there. Jota with a dribble and blasts it over. Magoma with a corner going in. Volley back through the crowd by Davis. Birmingham was slightly on top. I've written here, Ipswich noticeably very relaxed and playing out from the back. And I realised that relaxed was going to turn into slack, which was going to turn into
slovenly.
Yeah, slovenly. Not a lot of intensity. I think we're going to get onto this after the game, but a lot of you know how Bettinelli takes goal kicks for Fulham, where he dinks them right out to the
chips them. Yeah,
Bart did 4 or 5 of them.
Did he?
Centre backs were lining up. They've obviously been told, okay, chill out, have a bit of a laugh. See how many passes.
Yeah.
Webster and Chambers can do to each other. I'm being slightly sarcastic, but very, very. I don't know. Slack is the only word I can use.
Loose. Is that another word? Loose.
Yeah, very, which is not something that we've attached with Mick at all. So on 19 minutes, the big incident, Stockdale, brilliant throw out by him. He is really wet and he spins. He actually puts spin on the throw and gets it to Magoma on halfway. And Dave, I suppose you better take away from here, really.
Yeah, the highlights just showed, obviously, Magoma receiving the ball. I didn't know it was a sort of Stockdale, well, ultimately kind of assist.
Yeah, just to cut in, Dave, we were on the attack, and it was the first time we got anybody forward, and he took it, and it's a real quality throw, but you carry on.
But Magoma receives a ball wide left. He's up against Carter Vickers, so I would say he's quite isolated out there on the right. I think since he's been there, very good defender. We realise that, very good defender, quite strong, not bad on the ball, positions himself quite well. Wouldn't say he's blessed with electric pace, and Magoma's quick. Did a little trick, didn't he? A little couple of step overs, I think, which he ran quite away with the ball. I mean, it took him past. He just beat Carter Vickers. And it's one of those. Yes, there was a coming together in the penalty area. Maybe a little bit of a shirt tug or something like that. Nothing much in it. I think, what would you say, comes in the category of seen them given?
Yeah. I mean, I was having a debate with Slowball on Twitter about this, and his point was that the reaction of the player is disproportionate to the impact of the tackle. And my take on it is it's kind of like driving at 37 in a 30. Everybody does it. You take the mick as much as you can, and when you get caught, you hold your hands up and away you go. And
yeah, there was another similar one. Yeah, I will mention this in a little bit of the game I saw yesterday at lunchtime, which was Palace Liverpool, when Mane got slightly similar, got in the penalty area, turned away. Again, minimal contact with the defender. Can't remember who the defender, could have been Scott Dan. Can't remember who it was. And a little bit of a delayed reaction, and he went, and the ref didn't give it. I mean, again, Magoma, slight delay, wasn't it? But you just can't make contact at all. Not that matters these days. I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah, but come on as well. We watch Skews is a master, 50-50, sticks his back in the way. He sees where it's going to go because he's cleverer than the other guy. As soon as the guy hits him, he falls down. How many times have you seen Joe Garner? He lines up the centre half,
he's clever.
stands still. As soon as he
Yeah,
touches him, falls.
yeah.
Our players do it too. It's just none of them have managed to do it in the
No, and I
penalty
think
area all
Ben, you're right.
season.
I think it's one of those ones. Again, you sometimes see them different. Had it been outside the box, it'd have been a free kick outside the box. So yeah, no reason why it shouldn't have been a penalty in. It's yeah, one of those. He just got done for pace. I quite like Magoma. Always sort of have done. He's got a bit about him. And a good penalty from Yotta. Bart guesses the right way, but right in the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, in the side netting. Ward goes down the right, good cross by him. Spence, who'd obviously been instructed to get forward quite a lot, hence he had the ball thrown past him for the goal because we were attacking down the other side. He slices his volley. Connolly shoots on the next phase. It's deflected wide. I noted it down just because it was the first effort on goal on 23 minutes. Ward has a bit of a tame left footer. I'll say this at the end. Can we give Waghorn and Sears a pass for yesterday? They got no service at all for the whole damn game. And that was particularly one where I like Ward, but he was rubbish yesterday. And
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and Waghorn was.
I heard Connolly. I mean, I listened to some of the commentary, and they said Connolly was poor yesterday.
Well, Skews looked after Connolly, so he didn't look as bad as Waghorn did because he was,
Or Ward, you mean? Yeah.
Beg your pardon.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Throw in from Birmingham, curler right-footed by Adams. Now this is a great save because so he shoots it, Dave, to the back post. It's curling in, and Bart's already diving. And I mean, if you're Jota, you're like, oh, I should have scored there. He gets a slight little header, but in that position, as soon as you touch it, you think, oh, that's going to be enough. But the big pole, the right foot, while he's on the floor, and he kicks it away.
Yeah,
and I was sat in with the Birmingham fans on halfway, and this guy behind me is going,
lucky.
You lucky. And I'm like, no.
No, he does all the time, mate.
I watch this guy every week. That's pretty standard. Standard fare for the newly capped Polish goalkeeper.
Yep. Great news.
Magoma corner goes in. Bart gets in a bit of a muddle on this one. One of the defenders was right on his toes. He lets it go, and Morrison comes in and misses at the back post. Keefton Bell smashes one over, and Jutkovic, but not much doing there. And we're at half time, and you said to me just a minute ago, oh, how is it going to be? The drop off. Mick always says in his press conferences, oh, whatever you say about my teams, they always leave everything out there, and no intensity, Dave, at all.
But Ben, it's got to be weird for the players, isn't it? It's got to be strange for the players. You know, the ones that are out of contract, or even the ones that are in contract. You know, who's coming in? You know, like we said this a little bit on Thursday. Whether listened to it on Thursday, is the new manager going to fancy me as a player? It's a weird time. It is weird, really very strange.
So the system didn't really work either. I think when they did it at Preston, they had much more of an outlet down the sides, and I do like Ward, but he was entrusted in that. Right, you've got to link up, but there wasn't really a pass into centre midfield again we
said this at Bristol City. There never is a pass into central midfield. It's never a pass from central midfield to the front player's feet. You know, directly into the front player's feet. There's never. You just don't play there. Either play it beyond, down the sides or beyond. Never to feet.
And it was noticeable that they've said, okay, Garner's not about. We're not gonna go long. I don't know what this instruction was about. The you'd have to have been in the training to know about what the centre halves were doing, what the purpose of the passing was, other than I'll play it about
a lot of tippy tappy, was it?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if the passing figures for particularly Webster and Chambers, they made more passes yesterday but Mick was the one that mocked the Forest centre backs after we beat them 4-2, saying, yeah, okay, they made 100 more passes than us, but that was the two centre halves passing it to each other.
Did you see? Just sorry to change the subject slightly, and I know we don't usually talk about this, but yesterday in the first half, Kevin De Bruyne made more passes than the whole Everton team.
I didn't, Dave. I didn't. I don't.
I know. Sorry. Blasphemy from me. Sorry.
We're Ipswich. We don't do Premier League. God.
We don't.
So, Dave, Birmingham kind of you'd expect. I mean, they obviously didn't know quite how bad we were going to be, but they really muddled up their tactics in the second half. They didn't know they could have just gone for us and won 2-0.
Oh, Mick Mills said they're awful. He said they're there for the taking. They're
Yeah,
absolutely there for the taking.
they sat. I said in
And
my
we
match
did.
report, the only difference was the two guys down the sides, Magoma and Jota, had a trick and could beat a man. That was the only difference.
Oh,
Jutkovic is
and and
slow. Adams
and, Mil-
didn't get
and
near
Mills
him.
even said, considering the position that they're in, they didn't really show that much intensity at all.
Didn't have to, Dave.
No, exactly.
No,
This
yeah.
is terrible.
So they were in this kind of no man's land of well, we don't want to concede a goal, but they didn't go proper. How Mick would have had it, where he would have just been okay, come on in, score past us. So they were neither nor. So Ipswich come into it. Webster to Knudsen, decent cross. Spence's marked, gets a header in, goes wide. Knudsen dropped the shoulder on Jota. Dave actually skinned him at one point.
What?
Good cross by him. Spence heads over again. So Spence was the main aerial threat on goal kicks as well, as we saw against Sheffield United when it was Iorfa against Sheffield United. There you go. 54 minutes. Selena in for Ward, and Selena's going to go in off the front. Bit of a sarcastic cheer.
You said Ward was terrible though, didn't you? He didn't have one of his better games, so
yeah, Ward was bad. It's just surprising that the sub comes.
But this was the point. At that point, Mills, bless him, had a bit of a head off there. He said, why don't we just go for this? Right, let's do it now. Get Connolly off, put Carriot on, go for it now. And he said the first 10 minutes of the second half, we had much more. The ball was the only time we looked quite threatening. I think
he's right. He's right. Good through ball from Skews here. Kind of half volleys it through. Sees Sears has got the gap. Actually hits Sears as he's running through, but still falls for him. Gets his shot off, but we just don't see Freddie drive through and score anymore, do we? Corner goes in. Comes out to Knudsen, high and wide from him. This is the thing I was having out with slower ball on. If Magoma is a diver, then Bart is a diver. Hilarious dive by Bart. He's trying to run out and take a throw, and Harley Dean runs in front of him and he falls on the floor and gets Dean booked. Yeah, nice bit of gamesmanship from Bart there. Birmingham drop deeper and deeper now. Selena slides it into Waghorn. It's the only service Waghorn got all match. That was, he got it in the box, he worked. Must have been Morrison or Dean, I can't remember, and Stockdale doesn't see it and flips his hand up, and
bit unlucky that it sort of just deflects over Sears, doesn't it? Sears is sort of there, but it just deflects over. He's got a good save, I guess, if he meant it.
Where are we? A counter attack straight from that, and Jota plays in. He comes in from right to left, plays in Jutkovic, and he shoots in. It's one of those ones where it hits the post behind the goal, but then rolls along the back of the net.
Yeah,
so half the ground think that it's gone in. Skews, I'm going to sound really biased now. Skews takes a booking for a slide on Jutkovic. That didn't look like a booking to me. It didn't look like he was. What's the term? Endangering his opponent. Looked pretty okay to me. Hyam for Connolly, which I'm sure they loved on the radio.
Yes. Now this was this was a real head off. This was the one. Why like for like? That was the one. If he wasn't going to do it, if he wasn't going to do it 20 minutes earlier, why not do it then? All right, he then does well. Yeah, why like for like? Throw Carriot on in place of Connolly. Just what is the point?
Well, and what also, is the point of that? We've noticed a bit of a deterioration in Connolly when there's another centre midfielder close to him. It's kind of like, right, what is your role here? And the thing where he's found most success is in a couple of games. He's actually got forward and he set up a goal against Sheffield Wednesday. But if you're in a midfield three, Skews is your man furthest back, and Ward, and it feels like Connolly's much better. When it was 4-2-3-1, and
I agree.
Had a little bit more space around.
Because Ward is, if he's playing in there with Ward is you'd say, a much more progressive type player anyway. But
yeah, so I don't think that system does well for Connolly, unless you might argue young guy tailing off towards the end of the season. But I think it might not be his fault. Where are we at, Dave? Jota corner, good climb from Jutkovic, but has to save it. Carriot comes in for Sears, and Carroll's always dangerous. He's one of those guys where he's just got so
like him.
much speed and
Yeah.
a trick, and even Waghorn, you'd look at yesterday and you think, are we going to get a goal from him? And Carroll seemed to carry more threat than everybody else, really. And then it's limp. Like my last page is all substitutions and yellow cards. I mean, there was a Carroll dribble and a cross in, and Hyams got forward well in the box, got really difficult volley, and it hits the defender and then hits him and rolls out.
How was the I mean, away support again? Without usual good away support, in numbers?
Not massively. It's a big stand behind the goal there. They were in quite good voice for the first sort of 20 up to the goal, I guess. A lot of you're going down chance and things like that. There was nothing anti-Mick other than they sarcastically cheered the Selena substitution on 54. So I would still say, what's the point? But given how it has been, they were.
On that note, and you haven't mentioned him, did Selena make any impact at all?
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna play as badly as we are at the moment, you may as well start Carriol and start Selena and say, well,
absolutely.
we're not going to play any football. So
just go 4-4-2. Just go 4-4-2.
You two have the ball and dribble it and lose it as many times as you want, because we're not going to play through you, because it's just not happening at the moment.
He did against Bristol City, didn't he? If you remember, that I know he only came on with about 10 minutes to go, probably in the 85th minute plus 5 after, and he was busy and getting on the ball at Bristol City and creating a little bit. I mean, at least I suppose, in that respect, yesterday he did throw him on 40 minutes earlier. But, yeah, it was just, I mean, again, a Mills who sometimes can be a bit of a cure for an insomnia sometimes, but he speaks a lot of sense. And he just said, I cannot understand this. He should go, he should just go now. You said yourself, players are clocked off, seemingly so yesterday. He should go now. And the point he made was, yes, give it to someone, and maybe someone will tweet this in, someone the likes of Gerard Nash with Brian Klug alongside him. Give it to him to the end of the season. What have you got to lose if you're not going to appoint anyone from now to the end of the season?
Yeah, I agree. And the thing I'm starting to say is, I was just about to instigate a discussion with you.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And say, well, maybe you should take out Carter Vickers and go for. And then the answer to a lot of these things is, what's the point?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because now you're saying, okay, so the manager's not going to be there next season. Selena's not going to be there next season. Iorfa's not going to be there. Carter Vickers is not going to be there. And it's
Connolly.
this kind of purgatory now.
Ben, tomorrow could be horrific. Potentially tomorrow could really be the one, couldn't it? My God.
Ipswich texted me earlier saying it's the Benjamin Bloom derby, because I get accused of being a Millwall fan amongst other.
Benjamin Bloom derby, Rich, is Fulham Millwall.
Fulham Millwall. Yeah. Oh, you got to love a bit. You got to love me a bit of Fulham. Look, we'll get your view on it in a minute, Dave.
Go on.
So the tweet I put out was, actually, let's read it word for word. Mick's contract has 7 games left. How do you see it going? Because we've gone from, it seems, on Thursday, okay, he's going, and then we've just kind of, all the players come out on Saturday, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, how's this going to work for another, for another few weeks?
6 weeks, yeah.
So, at Jay Cook, McCarthy should be put on gardening leave. He doesn't want to be here. The fans don't want him here. And the strange atmosphere this creates will have an effect on the players. Justin, let the club focus on making a Sir Bobby Robson type appointment rather than a dual one. The Mick exiteers have their wish. Please stop moving the goalpost to say now we want MM out. Let's focus on making our club appealing to new manager players. Matt Stab says no wins. Wazza says that'll be 7-1-0 defeats then. Scott with the abs. After going the game yesterday, I think we best can hope for is 7-0 nils, because the team has no plan for attacking. Don't know what Mick did with the 2-week break. Well, he sorted out his future, Scott. Christopher will be treading water for the next 7 games. Put the club first. This is not about making his farewell tour. I can't. This is Jax. I can't really read it if I'm honest. I can't see the players giving 100%. as they're not playing for anything at all now. Just be good to get behind the players, make some noise for them, and let them know they're wanted next season. Joe, I see it going badly. Clear now. Even Mick is not happy with the situation, so we'll do decent thing. I'd like to see an announcement before the Millwall game that he's done, so those that want to give him a clap can, and then let's just muddle through until we appoint someone. Not fair as it is. Tricky. This is about Ward. He's just replying about Ward. Slower. Now the mixed situation has been announced. The elephant in the room is basically how very ordinary some of our players are. To criticise is not being disloyal, it's about being honest. Yesterday was terrible. Yes, we have players missing, but the likes of Ward and Knudsen are poor. Timmy, most important thing is someone putting an arm around Bart and probably Knudsen. McCarthy is not the person to do that. Put Klug in charge for the last 4 games. Noel, now the decision has been made. It would be best for everybody that left now. It's unfair to him, the team, and the club, and the fans to prolong the avenue further. Let Brian Klug be caretaker manager and make an appointment. Tim, roll the young guns dice, not with gay abandon, but blooding them ready for next year when they might be required. Budget could be tight, but it's not as tight as the Canaries. I'm going to apologise. So there's a whole scroll there. But the main thrust of those tweets, Dave, is it's gone from on Thursday, he's going, what's going to happen
Euphoria,
next?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute.
How does this work?
What's your view?
I agree totally. I agree with I said Nash and Klug, but Klug, caretaker, absolutely. I think that's the way to go. I really do. And, I said it a few minutes ago, tomorrow could be the absolute tipping point. It really could. And I totally agree. I think it was tricky, or someone said there, or Noel maybe said that, don't by any means stick them all in all at once. Give Morris a run, give Falami a run, Drinan, give them a run, give them a game. What we got to lose? Absolutely, what we got to lose? Nothing.
It's a bit depressing, actually.
It is, really. It is. I just don't see. I don't see anything to be gained by him staying till the end of the season. Nothing at all. Only, I guess, he's already come out as well. Let's see if we can finish top 10. Well, yeah, okay. So what?
The only thing that really matters to me, and it's not really important in the grand scheme of things, it'd be nice to finish above Norwich. I think it's been
right.
9 years or something in a row.
Almost as long. Since we last beat them, of course. Yeah, when they got relegated.
They've finished above us. I don't really have a lot to add to that, other than
I don't think you can. So if you thought, my view on this is, if you thought yesterday was weird, tomorrow is going to be stranger, I think.
Well, and you go from a bad team that has something to play for to a good team that has something
absolutely buzzing, absolutely
that
right.
Has something to play for. Yeah.
There's a manager for you. There is a manager for you, but there you go.
There you go. Let's go to the roundup then, Dave. So Wolves
most of these games to play Friday, weren't they? There was only 2 games yesterday.
Yeah, so Wolves stay. They're 13 clear now. They won 2-1 at Borough. 13 clear with 7 to go. What is that? 3 wins in there. 3 wins in there.
Couple of wins, draw. Yeah, that'll be all right. Yeah, they just come strong again, haven't they? Two yellows though, so 2 suspensions coming up for Neves, and 2 second yellows for Neves and Doherty within the space of about a quarter of an hour.
So they just put that big dude in that you like, whose name I can't remember. Big, huge guy.
Oh Christ, yeah. I do know you mean. Yeah, late consolation by Bamford. He's in some good scoring form, but Wolves, like you said, Borough hanging on to 6th on goal difference. It's bunching up there in the bloody hell those last 2 spots in the playoffs.
We'll get onto that. Cardiff get their 8th win in a row, but the caveat is, Dave, they've basically got to survive the next 3 games. They've got Sheffield United away, Wolves at home, and then Villa away. So if they can get 4 points from,
I can see them virtually winning them. Oh, they are on a run. Brilliant. So I took George to the airport on Friday, so I was listening to TalkSport on, and they interviewed Warnock after. Incredible. And he was talking about that Patterson. So I think it's the 4th straight game that Patterson has scored, and he's converted him to an attacking midfielder, I believe now. And he's saying, but he said when he came to you right back, he was brilliant, Warnock. He said, I realised after a couple of training sessions, a right back that couldn't defend, so I had to do something with him. So I thought, give him a game. I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable.
I don't want to denigrate Mr. Warnock's achievement, but remember, an attacking midfielder for Warnock is basically someone who, when the long throw-ins and the corners are going in the box, just goes up and.
Well, he's there, as he said. He's there on a
9
spot.
goals.
Four in 4 games, mate. Yeah, and Mendes Lang scoring against Zahor. Rare goal for Bent, actually, for Cardiff. But I mean, we'll get onto the next team in a minute. Well, you'll say more about that. But what a run they are on! My God, incredible.
Yeah, so Norwich 0, Fulham 2. So now I've seen Brentford win at Norwich and Fulham win at Norwich, but Ipswich couldn't do it for me.
We're close.
Yeah, so 20. I was there with my father, and 26,000.
You got to say, yeah, very good.
At Norwich. Do you know, it was real Mick McCarthy Ipswich stuff. He set up to stop Fulham, and it was pretty tight. And Fulham just had more attacking intent and stuck 2 goals in there. But Dave, Fulham, I was talking to a Fulham fan on YouTube yesterday. This smacks of Burley's Ipswich. They're going to get Pulis or Bruce or someone in the playoffs.
Get bullied out of it.
And so he was saying to me, we've got momentum. Momentum don't matter a hoot in the playoffs. The playoffs is about how clever your manager is.
Yeah,
and we've seen it a million times. And I can see Fulham, as much as I love them, they'll get Pulis or Steve Bruce, or even worse, they'll get Millwall or Chris Wilder. Can you see,
and do a job on them?
All of those managers, and they'll do a job. It's not, the playoffs is about getting through it, isn't it? And you see, Huddersfield didn't score a single goal other than shootouts, and we've seen
attrition, isn't it? It's attrition. They, I mean, Johansson and Kearney. Kearney's goal was brilliantly taken. I know, he's just a good skill, well taken. I mean, them and Cardiff are incredible. 17 games undefeated now. I mean, but they've just come across Cardiff in this unbelievable run, haven't they? Just a bit unfortunate, really.
And just a couple more things, just for Ipswich fans. So Norwich's best player, Maddison, out on the wing. Watching Matt Targett running up and down. It was all very, very Mick. And I listened to the Radio Norfolk, and a chap called Mervyn phoned up and said he would like to be their manager next season.
No.
Mick McCarthy.
Oh, stop it with yourself. Stop it. Sorry, was it April Fool? That was the day before April Fool, wasn't it?
Oh, come on. What sort of people phone up the Radio Norfolk phoning? Come on.
But yeah, I know, Mervyn. Yeah, oh my God.
It was a good watch. Hull 0, Villa 0. So Hull are now 6 clear with 7 to play, so they look safe, and Villa look pretty much.
It's a Nigel Atkins factor, one defeat in 11.
Look pretty much entrenched in the past. What about this one, Dave? Derby 1, Sunderland 4. Sunderland are still 5 off Birmingham, though. They still look pretty well odds on to go down, don't they?
Oh, I saw some of this game. This was Friday evening. Was it? The Derby were awful, mate. They were just dreadful. Honestly.
How did they do it?
It was creepy. It was like almost, hiding behind the sofa type stuff. It was like horror film. Mate, I put it must be Easter! ! 8 games without a win. Just in playoff spots, so 62 points on goal difference. After being second comfortably in February, it's just all gone.
Third bottom of the form charts. Only Barnsley and Burton are worse than them at the moment. And you got those teams lining up with. You'd think Borough will go on and take 5th, wouldn't you? And you've got Sheffield United and Millwall.
Bristol City. I'm sure about. Yeah, I think so. I mean Sunderland. Yeah, they just did a job. But the defending was just shocking, mate. Honestly. Yeah. But. I just don't know.
Let's go to Barnsley 2, Bristol City 2, and Kiefer Moore watch. He's getting warmed up for coming to. Everybody, do it now. Get your money on Kiefer Moore to score any time at Portman Road, Tuesday the 10th of April. And thank you. You're welcome. You will win that bet. Yeah.
Yeah, his third goal. He missed some chances. I saw it on the highlight show. He did miss some chances though, but yeah, he was also set the. He got a good assist for Potts later on in the game.
So 2-2, Bristol City, still tailing up. But
Barnsley in bottom 3 after Birmingham win.
And the Lions of Millwall, just brilliant. So they win again, 2-0 against Forest, and they're coming to Ipswich tomorrow, and they just look odds on to win, don't they, given the circumstance and the way they're playing?
Colin Murray said, or I think I heard this on the highlights show, that this was like the 4th time in the last 5 games they've scored in the first minute.
No, 4th time this season, and of course one of those would have been Wallace against Ipswich in August.
Christ, yeah, of course.
They scored pretty much from kick-off
Okay.
there. So you can imagine the way they're going to start against us. And I've seen
100 miles an hour.
I've seen it before. You know, I've seen it at Ipswich many times, when you have a team that comes with momentum and a load of fans. I always remember Forest under Dave Bassett. They didn't even have to play well. They just knock in a 1-0 and away they go. It just carries them.
Yeah, apparently they're bringing like 1,700 tomorrow. So, yeah, be an interesting win. Very, very tough. And also tomorrow, if they win, it will set, which you said before, their club record, 6 consecutive away win, which is, yeah, very, very impressive. Yeah, another one, 10th of the season for Gregory. You like him, don't you?
I like most of them. I don't like the way Millwall play. Good side. Brentford won, Sheffield United. Dave, I have paid to see Ryan Woods on April, is it next Saturday? And he got sent off.
Oh, comedy, mate. Handbags, him and Blackman. So it's one of those ones, ridiculous. So Basham had put Sheffield United ahead. One of these deep line centre halves, isn't he? He's their roving centre half, isn't he?
Both of them do it. O'Connell on the other side.
Basham and the O'Connell.
Well. Yeah.
Mepham equalised, 68. And then... So it was one of those, and every once in a man went over to the corner flag to celebrate with Mepham. I think it was his first goal for the club. I think he made his debut for Wales in the week or something.
He's from this way, actually, Mepham. Guy I worked with in Hayes used to play five-a-side with him.
Oh, okay. And it's one of those ones, so Woods runs to get the ball out of the net and trot back to the centre circle with him. And it was have you seen it?
I've seen it.
Woods is quite short. Blackman's quite tall. It was like a kid. Woods was jumping up to try and get the ball from Blackman. It was a comedy moment. Then he sort of there was a couple of little slaps went in, and sort of Blackman just pushed him away. Oh, it's just ridiculous.
I have consulted the laws, Dave, and the law states delaying a restart is an offence. So if Blackman was holding the ball, he was delaying the restart.
Okay, well they wouldn't have delayed because all the Brentford team apart from Woods were in the corner celebrating, so it was no way a real delay.
Why don't they just say when the ball goes in the goal, no one's allowed to touch it and the ref has to go and get it out, and then that will never ever happen ever again.
That would have sorted it. But
if
it was
you
a comedy.
You get £1 million fine and a season ban. There you go. Out you go.
A good comedy moment anyway.
I don't understand this. Sheffield Wednesday 4. Preston 1. I don't get. Sheffield Wednesday were terrible when I saw them.
Did you see the goal Andre the Giant scored? His second goal.
Ridiculous, wasn't it?
Where did that come from? But Jow again. They brought Jow on at half time. God, why did they not play him? And he basically turned the game. He scored in that. I think he scored the first goal, 52 minutes. Good player, but why he doesn't play, I don't know. Significantly for them, Forestieri. First game back since August, knee ligaments, I think. Trademark free kick for them. Yeah, Preston. Yeah, bad result for them, but they're still on the cusp. I think they're 10th, 60 points. So yeah, they're in that bunch.
Leeds 2, Bolton 1. So Leeds have the distinction of moving above Ipswich into the top half of the table and move Ipswich into the bottom half where they'll probably stay. We'll gloss over that one. Bolton Birmingham on Tuesday, I think, and Birmingham taking 4,800 fans to that.
Is that right?
That's probably the whole of that stand at the side of the Macron, isn't it? Reading get a good win, but I want to talk about Paul Clement's hair quickly. I know I'm a man who's blessed with excellent hair, but he's brushing every bit of it forward. And you know when Shearer had the little bump there,
the little Island Green.
Yeah, don't hide your baldness. It's fine. Go do it. Yeah. Someone said to me once, I know Statman likes to say two bald men fighting over a comb. You only notice a bald man when he tries to hide it, don't you?
You do. Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm hiding it quite well with my headphones.
Paul Clement, Dave.
Yeah. Well, first game, first win. There you go.
And we're going there. I thought we were guaranteed to win if Jap Stam stayed there.
I might put an appearance for that one with Pat. We spoke about that the other day, the 28th of April, I think.
Is
Pat
get not banned from any game involving Ipswich anywhere in Europe?
Stop it now.
He's going to sit in the Reading stand.
Did you see that? Well, we'll talk about that.
I'm going to refrain from commenting on that and move on.
No, but move on.
Hi, Pat. I love you.
Patrick, naughty boy.
I'm going to move on to the most boring extrapolation of the season. This is nearly as boring as. Do you remember when we drew 6 in a row last season or whatever it was?
Bonkers. Go on.
Ipswich are 13th. They have 52 points from 39 games. That's 1.333 recurring points per game and project 61. Remember the magic number last year, 55. So for all the we nearly got through a podcast, for all the be careful what you wish for imbeciles who want to accuse Ipswich fans like they have any control over anything and wishing's going to do anything,
Yep.
that it's not actually that better than 16th position last
No.
season that we're,
Crap.
quote, wishing crap. Goals, Waghorn, 12. Assists, Waghorn, 8 minutes.
When did we last score? When did we last score? Can you remember?
It would have been Waghorn's free, or would have been Carayel. Which came first, Preston or Sheffield Wednesday?
I don't know. The games just seem to
It's
morph
Waghorn's
into
free
one
kick.
another now.
We haven't scored in the last 4, so
it was Waghorn at Sheffield Wednesday, wasn't it? Good goal.
Yeah,
if that's the last goal we score this season, it was a very good way to finish.
Dear oh me. Let's go to the Nasdaq. James having to just bet on Ipswich losing every week, but we know that James is a positive guy, and he bet on Ipswich to win either half yesterday. James, that was foolhardy.
James.
That did not happen. He also went for a treble of Leeds over Bolton, so he won that one. Bristol City over Barnsley, no good, 2-2. James. Preston over Sheffield Wednesday, bullshit away win bet there, wasn't it? You can follow James at JamesDack _99 or something on Twitter. And he's been a great sport this season. He's put 2 bets on for us.
Yeah, brilliant.
Every single week. Let's talk to the Renegade Statman, who's already in the queue to get his season ticket on Tuesday.
Yeah, he was putting that out on Twitter, wasn't he? Saying, will the club contact me directly? I almost meant, well, you personally, Stat.
Yes.
Look what we've done, Stat. Come back.
Easy, lads. Well, Mick's gone. It's all been said. We go again. It's time to look forward and back the new manager. Some say history will look fondly on Mick McCarthy's time as Ipswich boss. I personally doubt it, but I'm sure me and Dave and I, will come across some corkers from McCarthy's time at Ipswich on the excellent This Week in ITFC History pod. With it being Easter, I'm spending time with the stat laws and other delinquent members of the Statman family, so this week's stat of the week is something that I could grab off the shelf very quickly. Town have failed to score in their past 4 games, and so the stat machine and myself took a trip back to see when was the last time Ipswich failed to score in 5 consecutive games. We hadn't, figuratively speaking, got out of the drive before we reached October 2016. In that sequence, Town failed to score at home to Villa, away to Leeds, home to Brighton and Huddersfield, and then finally away to Blackburn. The only other time this century Town had a similar goal drought was in February 2007, when Town failed to score in 6 consecutive games. 2007, Dave Magilton?
Yeah.
The club record is 7. This happened in the colossal stat-breaking April 1995. Town conceded 23 goals in those 7 games, finally ending when Ian Marshall scored away to Arsenal at Highbury. So, with 7 games to play, there is every chance this record could be beaten this season. Peaceful Easter to everyone. Renegade.
Well, that's that. And I think we must mention his appearance on RTE Radio over in Ireland to discuss the.
So Statman went on national radio on Thursday night.
National radio, and it's very good. Yeah, I did laugh with him because I think he actually he ended up costing RTE revenue because I think he talked straight through 2 ad breaks.
Well, you know.
But no, he was brilliant. He was very, very good. I know he really enjoyed it. And looking at Twitter, he's got some really good feedback. So and he got the pod in twice. So that was superb. We got
good
2 mentions.
Good work to the Statman, and we must say it's been a brilliant season for the podcast. So you were on Radio Berkshire, we've been on Talk Sport, we've been on the Anfield Rap, we've been on
all over
Channel 5, we've been on Irish 5. National Radio. Yeah, but it says the Blue Monday podcast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and
there we go.
I'm just not to demean it at all. I'm on the Naked Footy show this Wednesday.
Oh, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent work. We need to give a shout out to listener Jules, who was on there last week.
Jules was superb. First time on. I thought
not superb at geography though.
Not superb at geography. No, he's terrible at geography. He got confused with Bournemouth and Preston?
And Blackpool.
Blackpool. Sorry, on his way to Preston. But what I loved about Jules was he was obviously from my era. Which
he's your vintage,
great.
Isn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, loved him.
Right. Before we go to Two Little Ducks, the ruling committee has been in touch. So Ben Dawkins was listening to the excellent podcast Quickly Kevin, Will He Score, which is an excellent 90s football podcast. And they play a similar game to Two Little Ducks. and they have an interesting rule that if we'd enforced last week,
quite right.
Yeah, quite right. So there's 2 new rules coming into Two Little Ducks. The
no,
first is,
can I take it? Go on.
The first is if your player is a used substitute,
yeah,
you get to continue.
Okay. Oh yeah, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And second?
And we're introducing the lifeline, not just because it's my go. You'll get it as well.
No.
Introducing the Golden Goose, Dave.
So what does that mean?
So the Golden Goose means that if I'm really unsure about a certain player, I can call the Golden Goose, and if they're wrong, I get to continue.
I
can only use that once, and I have to specify.
I love it. Love it.
So the rules of Two Little Ducks are that. It's my turn this week. Dave is going to pick a game from the annals of Ipswich Town history. As I always point out here, Dave has a podcast called This Week in ITFC History and a ridiculous memory, so he has no excuse ever to lose to me ever.
Stop it with
and
yourself.
Is a disgrace if he does lose to me ever.
Oh, it's a disgrace. Okay, you're going to love this.
Let me just quickly go through, Dave. Okay. Quickly. So the rules are: I have to name as many players that started the game in a row as I can. If I name a player that didn't start, unless he was a used substitute or I've called my Golden Goose beforehand.
I'm just finding the plug. Sorry, carry on.
Oh, you're finding the plug. So those are the rules, and now I'm going to stitch Dave up because I can't think of anything to pad. Just make the plugs up, Dave.
Oh, I can't make the plugs up. I'm rubbish at making the plugs up. Where are the plugs? Where are the plugs? I tell you what, I'll just laugh at you trying to guess these.
Okay.
Anyway, we go back. Not mad, but I think you'll like it because I know you liked the other team as well. 27th of January, 2000.
Oh, okay.
And 2.
Oh.
FA Cup, 4th round, live on Sky. Actually, live on BBC, I believe. I believe it was live on BBC. Ipswich Town 1.
Manchester City
4.
Wow, Keegan's Man City.
21,199 expectant fans crammed into Portman Road.
Oh my word!
We were on a great run. Well, I think we were on a great run.
Stop right there, Dave. League. What is Kevin Keegan doing? Is he out of work? Keegan in. One of my favourite managers of all time.
Oh, gotta love Kev.
Sorry, I talked right over your nice little setup there.
Don't worry. You gotta love Kev. And I think looking at the 2 teams, I think the free pass. I'll give you a clue. The free pass. And also the Golden Goose has come at a good week for you, I think. A good week.
Oh, does Matt Holland not play or something?
Stop! Look, I'm not giving anything away. Look, stop it with yourself. So I will try. No, I won't. Because I've got to concentrate on you.
Okay.
But I know you're going to give you 30 seconds.
No, it's fine. The 30 seconds. 30 seconds is not going to help.
It's not going to help.
It's not going to help. I'm going to go for it straight away, Dave.
I'm trying to find the plug, but
I'll do the plugs at the
end. Go for it.
Sean Goater.
You love Sean Goater, don't you?
He's one of my favourite players of all time.
Correct.
Right. He may be a used sub, but he scored. Darren Huckabee.
I'll give you a clue. I'll give you not a clue. I'll give some help with Man City. They didn't use any subs. They didn't have to.
There you go.
Go on.
Darren Huckabee. Who scored a ridiculous goal? Isle Berkovic.
Did he not also kick John Hartson in the head, or was it vice versa?
Other way round.
Yeah.
So I've got 3, and they're all Man City players. Who scored for Ipswich? Marcus Bent.
That's a good memory. I wouldn't have remembered that, I don't think.
That's the goal scorer, isn't it? Did Goater score twice?
No. Might have done. Yeah, could have done.
Who the hell else would have played for Ipswich? 2002
relegation season. So we were just coming off. We were just in the midst, probably coming to the end of that great 8 game run.
See, I'm not sure whether Matteo Serrani or Andy Marshall would have been playing in goal.
Is he gonna use it?
Okay, Matt Holland.
Yeah.
Is this the bit where Stuart was out for a couple of months? Or did Stuart hit the crossbar?
Should have asked him. Did you not ask him the other week?
Who would have been playing in defence? Makin, Haridason, McGreal, Herman Haridason.
Oh yeah.
Danny Tiato.
No.
Oh, I've struck out on 6. Right, can I go through some other names then? I think.
Yeah.
Richard Edgehill, Ali Benarbia,
No.
Sean Wright Phillips.
So Sean Wright Phillips, yes. Ali Benarbia, yes. He was good that game.
He was good for every game he played for Man City.
Yeah.
Do the town lineup for me.
Okay. Yeah, it was Marshall.
2002, Dave, is hard because that was an unsettled team, wasn't it?
It was. Marshall, the subs were Marshall, Wilness, Haridas and Bramble. McGreal, you mentioned. Jermaine Wright, Holland, Peralta.
I would have forgotten him.
Roycer, so that's a difficult one in there. Yeah. Roycer, Bent, Stewart, subs, Clapham, Alan Armstrong, Ulrich Le Pen, sub.
Right, bear in mind, listeners, this Man City team Dave's about to read was in the Championship, not the Premier League, the Championship.
Unused subs, Naylor Serini. So, Nicky Weaver, in no particular order, Sean Wright Phillips, Jensen. Who's his first
Klaus
name?
Jensen. No, Nicholas Jensen.
Nicholas Jensen, I think. Gerard Vikins, Richard Dunn, Stuart Pearce. Wow. Stuart Pearce. Wouldn't have got him. Ali Benarbia, Isle Berkovic, Darren Huckabee, Sean Goater, Kevin Horlock.
Wow.
And on the bench, names I don't even know on the bench. So Carlo Nash, Paul Dickoff, Ngoy, never even heard of him.
Probably Keegan Sonet from France.
Killen, never heard of him. And I think
Chris Killen.
I think Shane Ritchie, and that's Paul Ritchie.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, Chris Killen, isn't it? Yeah. Good game that we were. Yeah, that did. I forgot about that game. Yeah, 6. Yeah, but you were all around it, weren't you? Because you said McGreal and just with not enough conviction. You've got to be. And you said Marshall, didn't you? But again, just weren't. Who did you get? What was your goose? Danny Tiato, wasn't it?
Danny Tiato. Yeah, I thought he was he's probably suspended, wasn't he? He used to get sent off a lot. So yeah, send us a tweet in. Let us know how you scored on that. You probably did beat me this week with 6. And yeah, you're allowed to play if you're playing yourself, you have to say I'm now using my Golden Goose, and you have to be very honest. If you
disciplined, yeah.
Dave, Millwall and Brentford to come before the next podcast. Millwall, I've seen like 4-5 times this season. Not seen them play badly. Seen them draw with Derby, draw with Cardiff, beat Reading away.
I mean, what strikes me about them is what you said about us, our lack of intensity. They're very intense, aren't they?
They are extremely intense, yeah.
They will be in our faces tomorrow. I mean, what would you see, just turn it back slightly. What would you like to see our team? So just go for it. Start with Carriel, start with Selena.
If you
believe
the Mick match-up hypothesis, Harris will definitely play 4-4. In fact, we can do the whole Millwall team. Pretty much.
So it'll be Morrison, Gregory up front.
Morrison and Gregory up front. Wallace, Saville, Marshall, and Hutchinson.
That's a great side.
Romeo. I can't remember what the left back's called. Two good fullbacks get up. Cooper and
Bruce,
William. No, Hutchinson's the centre back.
Williams
and Archer in goal. I can't remember what the left back's called. But McLaughlin? No. But they're going to play 4-4-2. They're going to press. They've got a big guy and a little guy up front. The fullbacks get forward. 2 big centre halves. So it's proper just old school English football. So
physical game.
Mick might go. He might go back 4, and he's now got an excuse to drop Carter Vickers. I know it sounds really, really harsh.
Yeah.
If he went back 4, he'd take Carter Vickers. I don't think he will. I think he'll back Carter Vickers. So I think we're going to play 3 at the back still. I'd like to see him do what he did at Preston. So you play 3 at the back, you play 2 wing backs, and then you have your 2 holders. I think Ward's getting dropped, so it might be Hyman Skews though, rather than Connolly and Skews. And then I'd love to see Selena, Carriol, and Waghorn.
And Waghorn, go for it. Get carry on, get him off the leash. Please go for it. That's the only thing that's going to get the fans back on side, offside. But it's only one that's going to give the fans a lift. I think tomorrow. Tomorrow could be nasty. I think.
But
we'll
Dave, I don't know how you feel about this. I had a rant, and some people agreed with me just about standards. When I watch Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares, he goes in there and he just yells at them. He's like, guys, come on, standards. And something that really made me grump yesterday. So Skews hits it out of play while he's trying to find Sears. Sears sticks his thumb up at him, and then Skews sticks his thumb up. Knudsen plays it down the line to someone, overhits it. He sticks his thumb up. He sticks his thumb up.
Yeah, I read
the
this.
The only guy upholding standards there is Luke Chambers, and I know I've moaned at Chambers for screaming particularly, but where is Jim Magilton? I saw a training session under George Burley once, and I saw him ball out Mark Venus for giving the ball away in a training session.
Didn't Jim Magilton punch David Johnson at West Brom?
Yes, for missing a one-on-one.
He pretty much did. He pretty much hit him, didn't he?
Who's upholding the standards on the? I know Bart, Chambers, Skews, and Waghorn have all had good seasons and all can pretty much say, look, I'm
done okay.
I'm doing what I've asked and I've done okay. But whereas, did you used to watch David O'Leary's Leeds? They were just yelling at each other the whole game. Bowyer and Hart and Smith and
different players, better players. Yeah, you're right.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do know what you're saying. I didn't know where I heard
there.
this. Aside from that, I think someone else tweeted that and said, what is that about? Someone misplaces a pass. The other guy goes, oh, bad luck. What is that about? And someone actually did say that. Well, can you imagine Magilton? He'd be bursting a bloody blood vessel, wouldn't he? We did. Well, he obviously did.
Well, the famous story about Veron, where Keane gave him a horrible pass and he miscontrolled it on his first day, and it was, no, this is United. You got to you control that. Or, I know these are great players, and Dennis Bergkamp saying, no, don't worry about the pass. I'll control it.
I'll control it.
Or Vieira, don't worry if you think I'm marked. Give me the ball.
I'm strong enough to come out with it. Yeah.
We need, if the manager's not going to be there, this drop in standards in that last game at Birmingham was just.
Was it noticeable then?
Yeah, really, it really was, really. And I mean, Mick was still cajoling and.
I know he said. I mean, he said him and Connor were jumping up and down and yelling from the line and pretty much doing as they would normally do. I mean, did you notice them any less animated than they usually are?
I was quite close in on the warm up. I didn't sit high up as I normally did. So where they do the little roulade or hotbox thing or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I saw Connor, and it looked like when someone's trying to to prove that they're over-egg it, to prove that they're, he was applauding everything, and it's just an odd situation.
Crap situation.
Well, Dave, I can say on Thursday I was hired to be a school teacher for 4 hours on the last day of term, and I watched the clock and did as little work as I possibly could.
Of course you did, because you're off.
And I got out, and now I'm off for 2 weeks.
Have a lovely day off to Norwich the next day, and great stuff. Yeah.
And
football, brilliant.
That's got the feeling. And it's a long 90 minutes away at Brentford, isn't it? They just keep. I know Woods is not playing.
I think that's sold out, and I think reading between the lines, a lot of the sort of hardcore away support are going to that. So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sorry to be missing that one. I'm going to go to Reading. I think that's if he stays, that'll be his last away game. And I quite like Reading. I've been there a few times. It's quite easy to get to, isn't it? So yeah, going to go to Reading. But mate, I don't know. He may well not be there by then. I just don't know.
But Dave, can you realistically see that would be humiliating unless he put his hand up and said, "Look, we announced it.
This isn't working.
Yeah, I
can't work like this. I thought I could, but I can't. I'm not saying not getting anything from the players, and that would be what it would be. Sorry, I contradict that. That would be what it'd be. I thought the players perhaps would not be on side, but perhaps would react in a more positive vein. But clearly they're not, and he'll never admit to losing the dressing room.
But you now have a vacuum of power at the top, don't you?
Yeah.
Where they know that and it's like, what can you
They're
tell them?
professional, though. I mean, you got to say, they're going to try and play for their, they're professionals. They're going to play for their professional pride. I mean, you're going to think they have got something to prove because there's going to be a new manager. The ones that are there next season, there's going to be a new manager coming in. They want to play. They want to, where possible, other, new contracts. But I don't know.
But Dave,
it's a weird
is all about intensity. And do you remember the final 3 games of last year? I think it was Rotherham away, and he changed 8 players and lost 1-0, and Sheffield Wednesday at home, and then Forest away, they checked out. Forest could have scored 3 goals in the first minute, couldn't they?
Dominic Samuel played, didn't he? I believe.
Yeah,
look, not great. And Ben, I mean, this perhaps leads us on to, well, we'll see Brentford. I mean, Brentford had a good season. It looks like they're going to miss out now. As you said, no, they're 11th, 114, drew 114, drew 13, lost 12, 55 points, no wins in 4. They're just going to miss out. I think there's a lot of traffic, as we said, between them. Well, I did see yesterday. Alan Judge was on the bench yesterday, so nice, you never know. He might, that was.
He might be reunited with Luke Hyam then.
Almost 2 years to the day, pretty much. I'm sure that was like mid-April.
Their first tackle is going to be tasty, isn't it? God.
But moving on from that, I think you alluded to at the start, been a quite one thing with Mick, but some real sad news coming out of the club this week.
Yes, so both Bobby Ferguson and Colin Harper both died this past week. Now, I'd asked you to do something on Bobby Ferguson before we. Colin Harper died on Friday. Is that right? So just quickly on Colin Harper, not to. Ferguson is obviously a very big figure
Colin
in
Harper,
the club.
Was left back in the very first game I saw at Portman Road, which was a 1-0 defeat by Burnley in January 1970. And the next season, so very much Robson's formative years. And the next team ever present, 71-72, which was a season of real consolidating. I think we finished in the end about 11th, 12th, so proper consolidation before we kicked on the next year. So he was ever present that season. However, interestingly enough, a game or so before the end of the season, he got sent. First player I ever saw got sent off. He got sent off against Sheffield United. Comedy moment. You remember the Keegan and Bremner Charity Shield? Pull off the shirts. He actually pulled his shirt off, threw it at the ref. Imagine to get the book thrown at him now. So consequently, he was suspended for the first game of the following season. A space at left back. And who came in to make their debut? Kevin Beattie at Old Trafford.
Wow.
So chances are, if he hadn't been suspended. So at the start of that season, the back four was, which was the start of the season when we finished 4th, got into Europe, was David Best in goal, Mick Mills, Hunter was there, then Derek Jefferson, Chopper Jefferson, and Kevin Beattie at left back. Harper then came into the team, and of course then Beattie assumed his almighty position at centre half alongside Hunter. So the initial back four in the real first year was Mick Mills right back, Harper left back, Beattie and Hunter. Harper, unfortunately, in the famous game away at Lazio, got a terrible injury, terrible tackle, did his knee ligaments. I think got back, that was 73, 74, got back sort of autumn of 74, 75. And then in a League Cup game at Norwich, I believe, got done again by Duncan Forbes, the Norwich bruising centre half. He done him, and that was it. He hardly made any more. I think that was in fact his last appearance for the town. So he made about 175, 176 appearances over 10 seasons. I think 66. I think his debut 66, 67, something like that. To that last game at Norwich, went on to I think he was player coach at Port Vale. Things were going for a little while. Then they had a change of new manager came in, and he sort of drifted there into sort of non-league. I think he managed Chelmsford and Sudbury Town, and became a builder. He was a builder in town. He had
his daughter went to Stoke High.
I think so. Yeah,
a couple of years above me.
I think maybe his son as well. I think he was a decent player. Really sad, 71, no age really. I knew his brother, John, condolences to him. I know he listens to this. I know he's a big town fan. And he always used to sit, when I used to have tickets a few seasons back in what was the Green King stand there, Sir Ralph, a lot of the ex-players had tickets sort of few rows behind me, and he's always there with his brother and a few of the other, ex-Town players. So yeah, and a local lad as well. So yeah, very, very sad. 71, and you hear Beattie and others talk about him. Said he was a top, and he was. I remember top quality left back, great left foot, big, massive legs, proper, player, and quite sad, quite sad.
And Bobby Ferguson, they did an announcement yesterday at Birmingham, because he'd worked for Birmingham as well. And I need you to debunk it, because for a fan of my age, we used to hear that Ferguson was the guy that took over after Robson when it all went wrong, and that's what we're given. But there's a lot of history before.
So Ferguson was a fullback. He's a footballer. I mean, he's died this week. He's 88. He's a bit older than Colin Harper. He was a pro footballer. I think played for Newcastle back in the day. Played for Cardiff City fullback, and actually played in the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final way back 66, 67, something like that. Finished his playing career. Finished his playing career, and came on the coaching staff at. He went to Newport and was the league's youngest manager for a time at 31. And then he was taken on by Robson, because he was from the northeast as well, Northumberland, so whether they knew each other, and joined Town's coaching staff in 1970. So he was the youth coach initially for the great FA Youth Cup side, 73 and 75, the two sides. So 73 would included Burley, would have been in there. I think Gates may have been in that one, but certainly then 75, you've got John Walk. Russell Osborne was in the 75 team. I don't think Butcher was. I think it was a bit too soon for Butcher. So when he was made... when he was coach, so after the 1978 Cup final, the coach, Robson's number 2 for the sort of like the early years of the 70s to the Cup final, was Cyril Lee. He left as coach, and Ferguson was promoted up, and superb. So hence all these young players coming into the team at the time. Osman was just about already there. Obviously John Walk, he'd worked with Burley, and then of course consequently Gates, Brazil came through. He worked with Butcher. He'd worked with all these players, and I remember a bit from Terry Butcher's book, and he puts all his, who made him as a player. He said Robson was great, brilliant manager. He said, but as a coach and a, someone to really, encourage and almost,
mentor.
A mentor. Sorry, almost provoke you into playing. Butcher was this great lad, 6'2", gangly as hell, but was soft. Would sort of tackle someone and almost apologise. And, he said, Ferguson used to say, oh, you're soft, you'll never make a play, you're pathetic, you're weak. And he said it was him. He was so determined to prove him wrong. And the other great thing, and I think this is sort of fairly common knowledge, it was him that came up with the great idea to play Eric Gates in that withdrawn role, in that sort of like, but behind Mariner and Brazil. He'd played the reserves. I think in the reserves he'd first done it with another local lad, a black lad called Johnny Miller, who he got to play a similar position in the reserves. So and that was it. I mean, it was him. Apparently, it was him that came up with the idea to play Geddes wide up against Sammy Nelson in the cup final to stop Nelson marauding forward. So brilliant tactically. And they said, what does come of it? They said, Robson, manager extraordinaire, fantastic. The players he bought, fantastic. His man management skills, brilliant. Everyone wanted to play for Robson, but they said, actually as a coach, Ferguson was the man. So Robson leaves for the England job in '82, and it's an odd one, Ben. It was almost a rite of passage for Ferguson. Whether he was ever really comfortable doing it, it's a bit like David Moyes taking over from Alec Ferguson. It's almost a hospital pass. Do you know what I mean? But it was a natural progression, I think. And he, but there again, then they built the Pioneer Stand when every seat in the ground was sold as a season ticket. Can you imagine that? Well, yeah, wow. But there's obviously a lot of standing then. And the players left. So when he's, in that '82, in the close season, Murin went to Man United. 82, 83, then you lost Tyson, and then you had the transfer requests from Walker, Mariner. They were sold. The clubs were losing money. The gates were falling. The clubs, all these players coming to the end of their contracts were leaving. And I think he had a great quote from him. He said, it's almost like trying to eat your dinner with your hands tied behind your back. He was like, it was totally sort of hamstrung by it all. And he's brilliant, for those first two seasons, 82, 83, but certainly 83, 84, 85, he worked miracles really in keeping the team up. absolutely brilliant. I remember '84 going to see us play. We were still in the relegation. I think in one weekend, I think we played Liverpool. That was like Whits and Bank Holiday, I'm sure. We played Liverpool on a Saturday, got a 2-2 draw. Superb. Went to Man U and actually won 2-1. I think Alan Sunderland, De Vrij scored, I think. Incredible result, and that kept us up then. We stayed up the next season really by the skin of our teeth. And of course, 85, 86, we went down last day of the season. We lost at Sheffield Wednesday, I think, and then 2 days later, Oxford beat Arsenal. Arsenal were on the beach already. Oxford beat Arsenal, and we're relegated. And I think the sad thing about it is he was pretty much given an ultimatum that, look, the job's yours for this season. One season in the second division. Pretty much, I think the ultimatum was given him. You don't get promotion. That's it, And it was the first season of the playoffs where it was an interesting one because I think I got this right. The bottom three club, who I think was Charlton Athletic in the first division, played the sixth, fifth, however that worked, sixth, fifth, and fourth. I think however that worked in what was the second division there. So we played Charlton over 2 legs, very close both legs. I think 0-0 first leg. I believe we lost 2-1 at Charlton, and subsequently he was dismissed. And you know that, be careful what you wish for. He was dismissed, and John Duncan was and John Duncan was appointed. And that really, I think that was it. I think he went to a couple of notes here. I believe he went to I did a bit of coaching, I think, in Kuwait, and I think, as you said, a little bit probably with Birmingham, may well have been under Mills, but certainly when Butcher was at Sunderland, did a bit of coaching there. I sort of came out of football and sort of gradually gently retired. Really, he lived up near me. Used to see him walking his dog. Lived over Broke Hall, and certainly seen him play at the golf club. As a sort of member of the golf club. But yeah, I think what he'll be certainly renowned for is a very, very very good coach and a very good a very good motivator. And if you look at all those games, certainly keep banging on about the 80-81 season, you see like clips of, the Cologne away game, and it's always Robson and him side by side on the, on the touchline. And, very sad. Again, 80, quite, in this day and age, fairly young, but, not to be underestimated his contribution to the glory years at Ipswich, and also, the job he did as manager as well.
And I know the manager is ultimately responsible for all of it, but if you watch even Mick and Terry Connor, these assistant guys pretty much have a say in virtually every decision during a match, don't they? So
well, you look, you're not saying me if and when Mick tips up in another job, Terry Connor's going to go with him. That's you're right, man. That's just what it is. So yeah, very sad, very, very odd week, isn't it? Really, very strange week for the club. But look, let's just hope going forward that the right, whoever it is, the right appointments made. I mean, there's been, putting Bobby Ferguson to one side, there's been several in the frame. In the frame now. I think Warburton's the latest one today I've seen sort of really sort of go sort of down in the betting. So yeah, we'll see. But no, sad times.
I'm going to say it every week. Yeah. Of course. Rest in peace, Bobby Ferguson and Colin Harper. I'm going to say it every week on the pod. Doesn't matter who they appoint. We need to reunite the fans. The owner needs to show he cares about the club, and we need to move forward.
Yeah, and also what did come out last week, we may have mentioned it on Thursday's brief pod, that the owner apparently is going to come out and speak to we did speak about it, speak to ITFC direct, whatever ITFC player, or whatever it is. So that will be interesting, Ben. And what will be even more interesting is the literature that I guess will come out this week.
Going to land on your doormat tomorrow or the next day. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I was thinking about something you said a few weeks ago about the stadium, and I've realised why every other stadium. You go to every other stadium and the pitch is nicer. And this sounds stupid. They've all got the electronic marketing boards around the side, and your viewing experience, you're looking at everywhere else you go in the whole league, except maybe Burton, has got what you're looking at is even, it just kind of struck me the other day, even at Birmingham, they've invested in the.
I mean, good God, what's the pitch going to look like tomorrow after all this rain? I mean, and more tomorrow, for God's sake. I mean, the rain that's forecast certainly later today and early tomorrow, that could put, looking at that part of the pitch. All right, I guess that hasn't been played on for a fortnight though. No, maybe more. Yeah, okay. So that may be better, but that could even. It was so bad. Surely the game might even be in trouble in the rain that's forecast. But Ben, clearly it's very tired. It's a very tired club, isn't it? And very tired team, tired club, and just clear. There's just no investment at the moment. Whether that will change, don't know.
More of this every single week until the end of the season. We'll look forward to that. Dave, we didn't get the plugs done, so we need to say follow. You can follow all of us on Twitter. At David Diamond 3, at Benjamin Bloom. Statman is at Chompex3, and Rich, who does the video stuff now, is at Ips Rich. We're there on Facebook and Twitter. Twitter's probably the place, at Blue Monday ITFC. Obviously, if you listen via audio. That's Acast and iTunes. Subscribe both of them, and it comes up in your mobile whenever you want to listen. If you're watching on YouTube, we really appreciate if you subscribe there and give us a thumbs up. Just pushes us up the algorithms in our quest to widen our audience, which, as you say,
take over the world.
Well, as you say, is tricky when the fan base doesn't need an excuse to check out. Thank you, Dave. Looking forward to Millwall tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. You built them up. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Yeah.
No, they'll probably be terrible now I've done that. So we're going to be back this week in ITFC history. That's in the can already. That's coming out on Wednesday. Apologies last week. I think Paul had planned his decorating around listening to that. He's a painter decorator, and
the fun.
I'd set it to upload and it hadn't, and then Rich had to send it to me, and it all messed up. So that's going to be out on Wednesday. We should be with someone from the Besotted podcast on Friday previewing the Brentford game. You can check my match review out on Monday. That'll be out about 6 o'clock for the Millwall game, and then on Saturday at Brentford. Sorry, Dave.
And just a plug for the Naked Footy show on Wednesday. Yeah. I'll be there with the brilliant Graham.
There you go. So you should have something from us every day next
week.
Right, Dave, we'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and stick in there.
Yeah, cheers, Ben. About this cricket match.
I'm not pressing stop. What are you talking about?
Oh, the cricket match. You're going to come and see with me in the summer. No?
Right, we're going to close the podcast, and I'm going to say two things. I'm not buying a TV license, and I'm not watching fucking cricket.